That's right. That was for Jeremy.
Yes.
Yeah, say that name in the next 30 minutes. If we call you, and win $1,000. Right. And moving on tonight, just in case any of you folks are out there on the Twitter right now,
yes,
you're probably seeing things like Dolly Parton and Clint Eastwood trending.
Yes.
Have no fear, they're fine. Right. Please, it's actually a request from Twitter.
Yes.
They're actually asking us to tell people not to share the Denzel Washington tweet thing anymore. Right. Well, no, apparently there's certain data quotas that the internet can handle.
Yes.
And that one's fucking full. So, right. Now, there is COVID-19 news and updates for North Carolina here.
Yes.
But we're not going to read them because North Carolinians are fucking smart. Right. Yeah, so we don't bother the folks with bullshit. Right. Yeah. So actually kind of getting on to that. Well, fuck no, I don't got time. So,
fine, but be aware that you only have a limited amount of time.
Yeah.
And choose your priorities and go with them.
Well, I try to when they, they give us 90 minutes on the show. Now, you have to understand something, Bill.
Yes.
We did 7 years of this show in New York City.
Yes.
And in New York City, they gave us 3 hours a night, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Right? When we've got this sheer level of comedy gold, right? You can't cut it down to 90 minutes. No. I mean, you just fucking can't.
Yes.
Right. But whatever. They gave us a shot here, and they've the first season was 90 minutes.
Yes.
Right, as you know, and now you're into a contract for the second season.
Yes.
And of course, it's stuck still at 90 minutes.
Yes.
Right. But literally, I mean, we know, our listeners know, we could literally go on for days. We don't, right. You don't have to.
No, not at all.
No. But, me and Gilbert and Louie, the hardcores. Right. We can literally do this for forever.
Yes.
Right.
This is hysterical, really.
No, I know. Yeah. But So I don't know. Why don't we? We don't even have time for that. What the fuck? Right. It's really hard to deal with.
Yes.
It really is because we got 7 years we did the show there.
Yes.
And I don't know. There's just so much. Like literally, I've got a list here of like 100 things.
Yes.
Right now, we could talk about for like an hour each.
Yes.
Right. I've got listeners, emailing me. When are you going to do the COVID rant?
Yes.
I've got other listeners who are actually sending me complete up-to-minute detailed information about all the bullshit to do with COVID. Right. When are you going to do the COVID rant, they say. And I'm like, well, I'd love to, but I can't do it in 90 minutes.
Yes.
Right. And they're like, why so fucking long-winded? Right? And I'm like, because there's a lot of facets to the story.
Yes.
And the one that just gets me, like, just out of everything, like when all of this first started, like go back to December 2019.
Yes.
Yeah, just go back. Right. This is Chung-Chi. Chung-Chi works at a lab, Chao Cheng Wuhan. I break into the Chinese Rod Serling, it's all over, Yeah. Anyway, you go right back to that first day.
Yes.
It was like around the 15th of December. Or no. You know what? I think it was the 19th of December, 2019.
Yes.
And I watched the news.
Yes.
And they come out with this video. And I'm like, oh, it's a video.
Yes.
No, it was a video. Yeah.
Right.
And it's this Chinese doctor.
Yes.
And he's looking down, obviously, at his phone.
Yes.
And he's very kind of feverishly trying to share information of a very sensitive nature, you know.
Right.
And you can tell this fucker's serious. He's like, oh, fuck it. Right?
Right.
And then there's the news reporter, you know, doing the voiceover over the thing, like the English one, right? And she's like, you know, blah 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 blah. And there's been a leak of a highly deadly virus at the Wuhan, you know, virology lab, right?
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, highly deadly. And then, because at first your brain doesn't, you know, it's like,
yes,
yeah, you're on fucking lewds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, what fucking asshole is going to, right?
Right.
Hey? I'm, you know, 700 feet underground.
Yes.
Working in a level 5 containment lab.
Yes.
Because I'm working on a virus that, if released, would kill people.
Right.
Right? Or of course, the virus that we got.
Yes.
Which was, you know, you're working in a lab 600 feet down underground, working on a virus that, if it were to get out, would give people the fucking sniffles.
Right.
Right? Now, come on, people. Which is more believable? Well, now, Bill, before you answer that,
yes.
now just hold yourself on a second.
Yes.
Because they cut to scenes of the actual town of Wuhan.
Yes.
And these Chinese people walking around doing their daily business stuff,
yes.
right? And you see this old man over by I'm assuming a store.
Yes.
But now remember, there's not supposed to be any quarantine or anything yet. It hasn't happened yet, right?
Yes.
Right?
Right.
So he's walking in front of this store that's like all glass windows.
Yes.
So it's like, you know, like a department store, I guess, would be the closest thing that would be like there. And he's walking on the sidewalk up towards the cameraman about a block away.
Yes.
You know, he's got the mask on.
Yes.
But all Chinese people wear the mask because they fucked up their environment. So,
right.
You know, everybody's wearing a mask anyway.
Yes.
It's not because of the virus. They don't know.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Anyway, this guy drops, does the twitcher.
Right.
Right? And they show this guy doing the twitcher on the ground.
Yes.
And you know, I say that because it was exactly like that footage from Dawn of the Dead.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
You know, the one where they got stuck in the mall. Right?
Right.
Yeah. Had that great sex in the exercise room. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, good old Lucky Steve.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, anyway, so the guy's twitching on the ground,
Yes.
and then he fucking stiffens up like, you know, a roadkill cat.
Yes.
Right.
And that's it. He's fucking dead. Right?
Right.
And then they show, and this was on like Fox and shit.
Yes.
And MSNBC.
Yes.
And all, right?
Right.
So, I mean, if you were watching the news that day, we've all seen this.
Right.
Okay, and then it goes across the street, and there's 2 or 3 other people that drop.
Yes.
And they're doing the funky chicken, too.
Right.
Right? Now, I got to say, when the first old guy dropped,
yes,
and he's doing the funky chicken, and then he dies,
yes,
I'm like, yeah, cute trick.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
But then when the camera pans across the street to the other side of the road,
yes,
and then there's like 5 or 6 or 7 other people drop, right?
Right.
And I'm like, well, whoa, holy fuck, what?
Right.
Hold on a sec. Now, viruses don't work that way.
Right.
Right? Like, no, literally, they don't work that. They need incubation time in a body.
Yes.
You're looking at like at least like 48 hours.
Yes.
I think it's 48 hours before, like if you get Ebola, right?
Yes.
Or hemorrhagic fever, they call it for the fancy folks.
Yes.
Right? If you get that fucker, that's a level 5.
Yes.
Okay? That's like, anybody seen fucking Outbreak?
Yes.
Right?
Right.
Okay. So that's a level 5.
Yes.
No N95 fucking mask is saving you.
Right.
Right? And you see, we should understand this even so much more so.
Yes.
Because it's China. They're always wearing those fucking masks.
Yes.
Right.
Right? That they don't have any problem with it. They're not like, don't impinge on me. You know. They're not like that because it's China.
Yes.
That completely different culture.
Yes.
That they're like, oh, thank you for mask, master.
Yes.
Right.
Anyway, these people on the other side of the street are dying.
Yes.
And I'm like, there's something wrong here. Like this is some sort of chemical weapon or something.
Yes.
Right.
Biologics don't work like that. So I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like,
Right.
So whatever. So I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, no big deal. I mean, it's too bad for those people.
Yes.
But, we're fine here. I mean, only a moron wouldn't stop all flights, right?
Right.
It's the one thing I've never understood about Donald Trump.
Yes.
He plays everything so brilliantly.
Yes.
He's got everything all figured out, light years before anybody else, right?
Right.
I'm pretty sure the president of the United States saw the same video I did.
Yes.
Man, I'd be shutting that shit down yesterday.
Yes.
Yeah, no, you would too.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, this is fine. This is great. This is great.
Yes.
Then this guy, then we find out that this guy who's doing this video on his phone,
Yes.
he's actually one of the doctors that worked down in that lab.
Right.
And you can see the fear in his face.
Right.
Right? And I'm still, it's not computing.
Yes.
Okay, if the leak just happened and somehow this virus got outside in your wallet or something, like,
Right.
however the hell it got out, it's out. And how are these people dying so instantaneously?
Yes.
That this doesn't make any sense.
No.
Fucking help me out.
Yeah.
Right.
Anyway, this guy who's actually a doctor,
Yes.
he's a virologist,
Yes.
and he, for the next 3 weeks, was reporting from his phone, and somehow they were getting the videos out to the outside world,
Yes.
and they were being passed along to media, and media all over the world were, of course, covering it.
Yes.
So he would release a video like every 2 days.
Yes.
And one of the videos he released, I think it was the very next one, he was in the emergency ward, apparently, of the Wuhan hospital.
Yes.
And so he's in there and he's taking video, and there's people fucking dropping all over the place, right?
Right.
Like fucking... There's like 60 people in the waiting room,
Yes.
and like 90 people on the floor.
Right.
Right? And then the people that are standing up in the waiting room with the people that are on the floor,
Yes.
they start to drop.
Right.
Right?